Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Week Review by Vada London. கூட மறுபடியும் பெனல்டிமேட் ரிவ்யூக்காக வந்திருக்கிறது ரோஹித் ஆல் தி வே ஃப்ரம் பாஸ்டன் ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ரோஹித் ஸ்பெஷல் ஈவினிங் எல்லாம் பிளான் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கீங்க. அந்த ஈவினிங் நான் இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். வெரி சாரி, பட் டைம் கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. நான் ரொம்ப லேட்டா வேற உங்ககிட்ட வந்து நீங்க ஃப்ரீயா அப்படின்லாம் வந்து கேட்டு ரொம்பவே இந்த இடத்துல பால டிராப் பண்றேன் அப்படின்ற பேர்ல மேசிவா டிராப் பண்ணிருக்கேன். So my apologies for that first. And second, how are you doing?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure as always. And hi, அவ்வளோ பெரிய ப்ரெஷர் ட்ராப் ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஏன்னா பிளான்ஸ் வந்து 9 மணிக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இருந்தது. ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஆல் குட், எவ்ரிதிங் இஸ் ஃபைன். And I am doing well. Thank you. How are you and how is it going for you?
Work busy. தவிர everything is good and well. 37ல வந்து நல்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான ஸ்டோரி லைன்ஸ்லாம் வரும்னு நினைச்சேன். என்னுடைய ஸ்பர்ஸ் வந்து என்னுடைய ஸ்பர்ஸ் வந்து எனக்கு ஒரு முட்டு கொடுத்துட்டு ஒரு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னு நினைச்சேன். பட் எதுவும் பண்ணல. இப்ப என்னுடைய வெஸ்டாம் வந்து பண்ணுவாங்க நம்பிட்டு நெக்ஸ்ட் கேம் வீக்குள்ள போறேன். But before that, final game week of the season. It's also the final Premier League game for one of potentially the greatest coaches in the Premier League history. Trophies வச்சுதான் இது பண்ண முடியுமா அப்படின்லாம் என்கிட்ட யாரும் கேட்காதீங்க. பட் for the way he played, the way he set up, how he came in, the style of play, the philosophy he set, இது வந்து ஒரு லிவர்பூல் ஒன்லி இல்ல, ஒரு ஹிஸ்டாரிக்கல் கோச்சிங் கரியர் thus far. And it's not like he buys big names and makes a super team. He made a team out of players into a super team. So Jurgen Klopp, no better person to talk about Jurgen Klopp than Rohit. What it means, game week 37, game week 38, the final game, what it means for you to see Jurgen Klopp one last time.
Yeah, it means a lot. As I said before, I started following around 2015-16. So Jurgen Klopp on the event I started following. So my whole entire Liverpool experience, now there's only one man who stands out, and his name is Jurgen Klopp. So it's emotional. There are a lot of things. Final press conference, final game, final interview, final lap of honor. நிறைய அன்பேக் பண்றதுக்கு இருக்கு. It's going to be a very emotional weekend. And and I would like to thank you, by the way, for the introduction you gave to Klopp. Not many Arsenal fans or even rival fans would acknowledge the fact of what he has done. And I would like to thank you for giving him the props and giving him the honors, and appreciate it.
No joke at all. Doing what he's done, unbelievable.
Yeah. And Ponotis on and as you touched upon, he is one of the best player developers I've ever seen. So I will give that to him all day of my life. And most importantly, there has been an experience. And or Stanley Kubrick quote, it's not about, it's always about the experience and the feeling, and not the ability to verbalize or analyze it. That perfectly sums up Jurgen Klopp's career or his tenure at Liverpool. So it's not about how you analyze or verbalize it. It's about the experience. I think I remember very vividly, on a 38 game period, we won 36 games and we drew 2 games. It was not an entire season, but it was between 2 different seasons. It was between 2 points. So it's something you I don't know if I'll ever see again. And most importantly, the biggest comparison எல்லாரும் கொடுக்கிறது வந்து Jurgen Klopp to Bill Shankly. Bill Shankly got us from the relegated championship, second league, and he got us all the way up challenging. And then Bob Paisley, he came on and then he won years and years continuously. If any Liverpool fans take care, they'll always talk about Shankly more than Paisley. He got us from the depths. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் Paisley built on. So at the end of the day, even if Slot or whichever manager comes in after this and wins how many ever Premier Leagues, how many ever Champions League and Cups, at the end of the day, what Klopp has done for us from the depths, and what he has got us to at this point, it's something remarkable. There are a lot of moments, there are a lot of incidents, there are a lot of games, and most importantly, in the press conference, there are small speeches, life helps, quick tips. I'll miss that very much. So
that is what I think I'll piggyback on that last point. எனக்கு வந்து what stood out to me அப்படின்றது வந்து is seeing from the outside, the first thing that stood out was he cared about nothing. Like he would call a spade, he would call bullshit. அந்த ஒரு லெவல் ஆஃப் ஒரு கேண்டர் வந்து இப்போ நிறைய டாப் லெவல்ல இருக்கிற பீப்புள் கிட்ட இருந்து எதிர்பார்க்க முடியல. அவங்க வந்து பிஆருக்காக பூசி மொழிகி ஒரு மாதிரி அப்படியே வாயை வச்சுக்கிட்டு வாழைப்பழம் சாப்பிட்டுக்கிட்டே பேசுவாங்க. இது ஜியோகன் கிளாப் நோ புல்ஷிட். ஏசியன் அம்பாசிடர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, அதனால ஏர்லி கேம்ஸ் வைக்கிறாங்க. I don't care. I don't want early games. It's like bad on my players. He has a point.
I think at the end of the day, it comes to narratives. So upper and he gets caught into stuff, but I always respect him and I always have high praise for him. And a lot of people say, don't meet your heroes. I honestly hope I meet him one day. I have a few questions to ask him. So yeah,
high point of Liverpool under Klopp. What stands out?
It's the Premier League title. Yeah.
Okay.
I think even without the fans, the experience, and the night on the game முடிச்சிட்டு the news நான் போட்டா everyone was outside Anfield with firecrackers, enjoy பண்ணிட்டு celebrate பண்ணிட்டு during lockdown, during COVID. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not advocating for it, but due to the circumstances, I'll make an exception, Mary. So it was a very, very special moment. And now 30 years of follow பண்ணல. So I don't know the 30-year wait, but I know the passion of it. For 5 years, I know the emotion that's connected to it. So on the point the Champions League, we won it 10 years ago with Gerrard, the final. That was a massive thing. So the Premier League was the most important thing. So that is probably the most important, or the pinnacle of his career when I saw at Liverpool.
Got it. Okay, low point of Klopp under Liverpool now?
Ooh. I don't want to say this, but falling out with Michael Edwards.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Did that have anything to do with him quitting? That
yes,
Michael Edwards is back? Okay.
Yeah. So for people who don't know a brief history, sort of the recap, Marina, Klopp wanted to do what Wenger did with Arsenal. He wanted more power over transfers, and he wanted more say, and he started growing in figure. Champions League, Premier League, Cups. He got to the point where he had the power and he said, I want vetoes and I want the votes. And Appada, Edwards and Klopp had a fallout. Edwards left, Ian Graham left, and then slowly it started to fall off. And then it didn't go as per plan. And now they're all back. So I think that Klopp falling out with Edwards is probably one of the low points.
Okay. And now that I think Edwards or a hiring one day, it happened after Klopp announced that he was going to leave.
So Klopp announced he was going to leave, and then we didn't have a sporting director. So I think எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு சின்ன idea or understanding வேணா George Martek, when we hired him, or interview, like he said, I am not the sporting director. I'm going to be assisting Jurgen Klopp again. So that painted the picture for Liverpool fans clearly, saying Klopp is the sporting director and partial manager. And Smarte will be helping him, Mary. So we didn't have a director of football. We didn't know who to look up to or who to check. And then FSG went back to Michael Edwards and asked him if you want to come back, and then restructuring happened.
So Klopp is not leaving because Michael Edwards is back. Klopp and Michael Edwards are two completely exclusive events.
They are connected.
Okay.
Klopp கிளம்புறதுனால தான் FSG went and approached Michael Edwards.
Got it. Okay. So FSG Michael Edwards approach பண்ணதுனால Klopp கிளம்பல.
Yeah, no, it's not the other way around.
Got it. Okay. So the legacy of Klopp, I guess, with the board as well, it is substantiated அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொல்லலாம்.
To an extent. FSG ஓட இல்ல. FSG and Klopp have a really good relationship. Michael Edwards said that there was a bit of fire here and there, but everything is fine.
Top 3 managers of Liverpool.
Shankly, Klopp, Paisley.
Okay. So number 2, got it. All right. With the new manager coming in, Arne Slot, இருக்கிற current squadல, who are going to be the focal points with the new manager?
So basics வந்து slot plays a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. It's a mix up between the two, but he mostly favors a 4-2-3-1. So அப்படி பார்த்தா Van Dijk has his position as the left center back.
Right.
Mo's role might change. Probably the winger. நிறைய பேர் they're giving shouts for the 10 role, but I don't think that's gonna work. He's better on the right. Trent or the role வந்து it might okay, a bit of how slot plays. Slots right back inverts at times. He also holds the width. He has to make runs.
Okay.
The left center back plays as an auxiliary center back at times and provides width if required. So Trent வந்து he can play both ways. So நாங்க ஒரு back 3ல Trent right side center back வச்சு we can help him ping balls all the way up front. Or we can play him as a traditional slots right back and ask him to invert and hold the width. So there are two ways he can be used. So அது எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு I'll probably figure it out after pre-season.
So we need Trent in the back. They're going to be pivotal.
Yeah.
Okay. And frontla, it remains to be seen who are.
Yeah, I think we might look for a 10.
Okay.
Soboslai can play the left 4-2-3-1 left. Salah will play the right. We might look for a 10. And striker up front, I don't know what's happening. There might be few queries, few questionings. But I think Nunez will get another season. And Edwards looks at the data at the end of the day. And on paper, Nunez is a decent enough striker.
Yes, the data definitely is there.
Yeah.
Creation இருக்கு, XG இருக்கு.
Yeah.
Finishing தான் இல்ல.
Yeah. So I think William Spearman. Yeah. William Spearman, he's the head of director research எங்களுக்கு. So he wrote a paper which is beyond XG அப்படின்னு. So it focuses on out of ball scoring positions. OBS zone ஒன்று இருக்கும். So there are 4 criteria of which he bases a striker and they buy strikers. So on the criteria, Nunez is a really good striker.
Okay, all right. So Liverpool theme of the season வந்து நான் இப்போ சும்மா இந்த பாடு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணும்போது ஓவர் திஸ் வீக் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹாஃப் ஆஃப் த சீசன்ல லிவர்பூல் they could lose no game என்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. இன்ஃபேக்ட் the only game that Liverpool lost until December ஏதோ was the game against Tottenham where அந்த லைன் வரைய மறந்த வார்னால தோத்தது. அதுல இருந்து the second half of the seasonல வந்து it looked like I think if you split the season first half of the seasonல Liverpool ended top. Second half of the seasonல Liverpool are like Chelsea.
I won't say to that extent.
I mean Chelsea but right now number 6.
Okay. I have a different viewpoint. At the start of the season நாங்க win பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம், but we were scraping for the wins. It wasn't proper good fully flowing football. அப்படி விளையாண்டு we didn't win. We concede first. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு கோல் அடிச்சுட்டு ஹாஃப் டைம் போவோம், இல்ல கோல் அடிக்காம ஹாஃப் டைம் போய் we come back and win 3-1. So அதுதான் எங்க first half of the season. And then AFCON happened and Mo got injured for the first 3 months of this year. So Salah வந்து from Jan to March he didn't play. He came on one game, Brentford oda, and Jota got injured and he was sustaining an injury. Salah, he wasn't fully recovered. So அதனால he got injured again, he left. So injuries இருந்தது. And most importantly, as you know, we weren't playing good football and நாங்க 90+ minute goal score பண்ணி win பண்ணனால எப்படி சொல்றது, it took a lot out of the players. So throughout the season அது accumulate ஆனதுனால we ran out of cash at the end.
Okay. All right. I guess but the end of the day எனக்கு வந்து லிவர்பூல் அப்படின்னு இப்போ நினைச்சா it'll always be Jurgen Klopp அப்படின்றதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மைண்ட்ல will take அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் getting used to யாரா அந்த புது மேனேஜர் ETH இருந்து லிவர்பூலுக்கு வந்தான் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி அந்த இது வந்து it'll take a while to get used to, I guess. Okay, going away from Liverpool, game week 37 what stood out for you? Any specific storylines that stood out?
I think storyline ஓட ஒரு ட்வீட் வேணா சொல்லலாம். அருண் ப்ரோவோட ட்வீட். அருண் அவங்க ட்வீட் தான், ஆட புள்ளையேன்னு ஒரு ட்வீட் போட்டுறாரு. ஸோ really nice. நான் ரொம்ப வேற என்னமா யோசிச்சேன், என்ன ட்வீட் பண்ணுவாங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கலாம் யோசிச்சேன். பட் ஷார்ட் அண்ட் ஸ்வீட் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. So that was one of the highlights.
ஓகே.
மற்றபடி I think it was just a normal game week எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு. Bournemouth losing to Brentford, that was surprising to me. And Bournemouth have been pretty decent. Decent, there have been dips, so maybe consistency இல்லாததுனால கூட இருக்கலாம். And obviously City beating the curse against Spurs,
Right.
அதுவும் இருக்கு. And the one thing that was interesting, நிறைய பேர் வந்து City haven't won at Spurs away ஒரு 6-7 years Champions League, Premier League அப்படிங்கிறப்ப there was a big difference between Ange's Spurs and previous Spurs. Previous Spurs வந்து they sit back and they wait for the counter. Ange's Spurs is exactly the opposite. நான் ஹைலைட் வச்சு விளையாடுவேன், நீ முடிஞ்சா பிரேக் பண்ணிக்கோன்னு. பட் as always ராட்ரி மிஸ் பாஸ் பண்ணா City are shit. அது ஒரு 30th மினிட்லயே தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு. After that point in time it was Spurs to take, but they didn't, unluckily for Arsenal. So yeah.
எனக்கு வந்து couple of things were like surprising. First வந்து United வந்து the way they played against Arsenal and then the way they played against Newcastle. நியூகாசலோட லைக் என்னடா யுனைடெட் இப்படி விளையாடுற, உங்களுக்கு இந்த கியர் கூட விளையாட இருக்கா? ஐ டோன்ட் நோ இஃப் நியூகாசல் வர் ஷிட் ஆர் யுனைடெட் வர் ரியலி குட். எனக்கு வந்து ஐ ஃபெல்ட் லைக் நியூகாசல் பிளேட் டீசென்ட் கேம் ஆஃப் ஃபுட்பால்னு நினைச்சேன். ஃப்ரம் வாட் ஐ சா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹாஃப்ல தேவர் குவைட் டீசென்ட், கொஞ்சம் வெரி அன்லக்கி டு ஸ்கோர் கன்சீட் தட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கோல். கோபி மைன் ஆடுது பிங் பாங் ஆகி கரெக்டாக அவன் காலில் வந்து விழுந்துச்சு. பட் நியூகாசல் வந்து ஃபார் ஹவு தேவர் playing coming into this game, in the game was an aberration mari irundhuchu, and it also severely dented the push for top 6. Now they're outside looking in. They have to hope for a Chelsea loss to basically, and a win to basically get in. On the other side, idila Tottenham, same thing, for them to get a push to the Champions League, adha vittaanga, அது கோட்டு விட்டாங்க. Any other things that stood out? எனக்கு வந்து இது ரெண்டு தான், these were like the major things for me. One other thing that could have potentially made the West Ham win interesting வந்து if Man United lost or drew against even Newcastle, then West Ham could potentially get like hope for Man United FA Cup ஜெயிக்கிறாங்க and West Ham sneaking into a Europe spot அப்படின்னு they could have hoped for it with a win against Man City in the final game week. There have been an incentive. இப்போ வந்து nobody's incentive எதுவும் கிடையாது except for the fact that 5, 6, 7, 8 அந்த 5, 6, 7, 8ல தான் இப்போ biggest இது இருக்கு going into game week 38.
Yes, I think Chelsea, I mean Newcastle United game பத்தி பேசுறப்ப Newcastle I think they played well, but on the final third actions வந்து சுத்தமா இல்ல, really really poor. And United, as always, they take the chances pretty well, and they did. I think Amad Diallo, he was really really good. So ரொம்ப நல்லா விளையாண்டான். And I think this kind of sums up the fact that ஒரு director of football Leo Filana, with a player like Diallo in your academy, you go out and spend 100 million for Anthony. Pretty much sums up United at this point in time. So yeah.
Okay. So, and is there a chance that Luton Town win by 7-0 margin and Nottingham Forest lose by a 6-0 deficit?
I don't think so. It's highly unlikely.
Okay.
I think now yeah,
sorry. I mean, adu nadakalana, then the only things to focus on will be in the top 2 City and Arsenal games, whatever they're playing, and in the mid-table 5 to 8. Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, I think I was talking to a City fan. We both are like, நாங்க கூட points விட்டுருப்போம். I would have retreated the Diaz late goal and given them 2 points. I would have lost to Luton away without any issues. So I think everyone wanted that to happen, but unlikely Luton are not able to do it. Mathematically possible, but போன வாரம் நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி mathematically possible doesn't mean it's possible. So highly unlikely.
Correct. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Idila, with the way Arsenal and Liverpool are playing, Arsenal and Man City are playing, what will give Arsenal? What can West Ham do to give Arsenal the title, or what can City do to give Arsenal the title? Is it going to be City shooting themselves in the foot, or West Ham shooting City?
I will take you back in my memory lane. ஒரு 70 நிமிஷத்துல 2-0 டவுன் யாரோ இருந்தாங்க.
Yes,
5 நிமிஷத்துல குண்டுன்னு ஒருத்தன் வந்தான்.
5 நிமிஷத்துல 3 கோல்.
எஸ், ஸோ I would say அந்த விசில் போற வரைக்கும் I would hope for nothing. I would think டைட்டில் எங்களுக்கு கிடையாது, சிட்டி இதுதான், நீங்களே வச்சுக்கோங்கன்னு. I will be in that state of mind if I was you. And from my personal experience, that is what I can tell you. And City shooting themselves in the foot, I don't think so. And if you expect them to do it at the start of the season or midway through the season, it makes sense. But on the last title push, Pep has something. He galvanizes the team so much that there are no gaps. There's absolutely nothing that can go through them. So
right. Okay.
It's highly unlikely. And all the best is all I have for you.
Okay. நாங்களும் we have to beat Everton. It's not easy. நான் இந்த ஒரு ட்வீட் ஒன்று பார்த்தேன். It was about the metaphorical top 6 இருக்காங்கல்ல, அந்த சைட்ஸ் வந்து லாஸ்டா 2009ல லிவர்பூல் அண்ட் டாட்னம் பிளேட் இன் கேம் வீக் 38. அது தவிர கேம் வீக் 38ல இந்த டாப் 6 சைட்ஸ் they don't face each other. ஒரு ஆர்குமெண்ட் ஃபார் தட் வந்து ஏர்லியர் இந்த சீசன்ல ஃபேஸ் பண்ணா இட் வில் மேக் த இது வந்து கொஞ்சம் மோர் ரேட்டிங்ஸ் வைஸ் இட் பி பெட்டர். ஏன்னா கடைசியில போனா if one of the team is out of any races, what is the incentive for them to play and what will make this game worth watching? அதனால வைக்கிறது இல்லை அப்படின்னு. பட் அதர் கவுண்டர் ஆர்குமெண்ட் டு தட் வந்து கடைசி 20 years பார்த்துட்டே வந்தோம்னா the difference or the point differential between 1 and 2 வந்து குறைஞ்சிக்கிட்டே வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. Apart from a few aberration years here and there when Man United City வந்து 20 point differenceல இருந்தாங்க அந்த லாஸ்ட் கேம் வீக்ல. But other than those situations, the graph predominantly outliers எல்லாம் விட்டுட்டா ஒரு இதுவாகவே போயிட்டு இருக்கு. So does this then signal the Premier League saying in the next few yearsல வந்து you can potentially have an Arsenal, Liverpool, City, for the sake of this conversation, I'm including United, Chelsea and Tottenham as well. In the 6 people வந்து playing against each other or two of the 6 playing each other in the final game week பார்க்க முடியும்னு நினைக்கிறியா?
Yeah, I think so, but அந்த booking schedules அவங்க பார்க்கறப்ப they won't look at it that way.
Right.
All they want is viewership. And the more interesting thing is or City or Liverpool or last game week there's a higher chance they drop points to a Wolves rather than an Arsenal or City. So the gamble there is higher, which increases the viewership. If let's say Man City Arsenal title இருக்காங்க and Man City play Liverpool and Arsenal play Chelsea, literally everyone will watch only those 2 games. Matha games viewership will be almost zero. But if let's say Arsenal are playing Luton or City are playing Burnley, Liverpool are playing Sheffield, Chelsea are playing Wolves, and then you get a spread of 4 viewerships. 5 நிமிஷத்துக்கு இந்த கேம் பார்ப்போம், கோல் போயிருச்சுன்னா they'll switch to other game or they'll watch on different screens. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறப்போ obviously I don't see that happening. And I think to add to the point of the Premier League getting stronger, and then I think the top 6 are getting stronger, but the bottom are a bit of an issue. After the point deductions for Everton and Forest, appa kuda Luton, Sheffield and Burnley weren't able to catch up with them. Now it shows the difference in quality. So
fair point. Okay, Spurs going out of Europe entirely because there is a potential scenario where I'm sorry, they can only fall to 6th. They can only fall to 6th.
Out of Europe now, you mean Champions League?
At this point, they potentially out of Champions League in Allama. They went from ஒரு டாப் 4 ரேஸ்ல இருந்து ஒரு டாப் 6 ரேஸ்ல 6th முடிக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் இருக்கு. Is that a possibility? They play Sheffield away.
I don't think so.
Okay.
There is a good chance, but I don't see it happening. And just is not in a good mood after the game last week. There have been some fiery comments, interviews ஒழுங்கா போல during the game சில
Right.
conversations நடந்தது. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be fired up and he'll want this. And I think ஒரு 3 months or 2 months முன்னாடி they asked him about how do you feel about qualifying for the Champions League. But he said, I don't care about it. I want to go for the title. அப்படின்னு. So he
Mm-hmm.
always looks for the prize. He's always on the money. So
Yeah.
அப்படிங்கிறப்ப I don't see him missing out on the 5th spot.
And he's been at Celtic for a very long time. அவங்க வெயிட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருந்திருக்காங்க.
Yeah,
So he's probably used to that as well.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't see it happening. Yeah, but it is possible, you know. But at the end of the day, Sheffield have nothing to pay for as well. So
True.
you never know.
True. Okay. All right. Shifting gears. In the season, hits, flops. No holes, no limits. Coach, lane the player, varaikkum everybody are in for are eligible for this. Hits அப்படின்னா யாரெல்லாம் it can be more than one, obviously.
Okay.
Flops அப்படின்றது யாரெல்லாம் again more than one.
Okay, I think I'll start with the managers.
Mhm.
First will be Anton Areola, obviously.
Mhm.
And he has been doing God's work at Bournemouth and Arsenal. It's not more about how what he has done, it's about the style of play. Fans, he has galvanized the fans. They are behind him. Everything is working for him, and the players are good. Solanke, nobody expected him to get, I think, 16. Last time I thought it was 18, 19 goals at some point in time. So he's a good striker, but the potential he has got Solanke too, and improved other players. So, and they're 11th in the table, which is pretty good for them. So Areola, I think, will be the first one.
Okay.
Managers, I'll probably also say Gary O'Neill, Wolves.
Mhm.
He did really well, and our injuries it has not helped him at all. Almost his entire front line was injured for 2-3 months. All his
And
top
Vada
players.
didn't do any favors either.
Yes, Klopp in an interview, like he said, we got screwed by VARs, but Wolves are the one who are supposed to cry for it. You know, there have been some diabolical decisions of the so they have got the worst of it, to be honest. So it didn't help them either. So I think Gary O'Neill, I have high praise for him this season.
Okay.
Players to Manda, I'll start with Foden, obviously. And he has stepped up to it massively. Rumba season, everybody has been saying, Nalla player, but Nalla quality, talent, you have to show up at the big stage and the important phase of the game. So De Bruyne illa, Haaland is not performing well. Rodri is doing his defensive work and at times scoring goals. Attacking threat he stepped up massively for City. And if not for Foden, I don't know who else would have done if City would have got this far, to be honest. So Foden will probably be one of the hits. I think signings getting now just in general.
Just in general, like who stood out? Like for example, யார சொல்றது? Haaland, Declan Rice. I'm trying to pick somebody who is not a signing. Maybe Mo Salah again. 7th straight 200-point FPL season, huh?
Yeah.
You can have machine.
But it's not been consistent season for Salah, so I won't put him all the way up there. But
fair.
Van Dijk, however, ACL injury kapron, nobody thought he'll even get to where. I mean, nobody can get to where he was. On the peak, that is all-time best peaks. So he has been really good this season, apart from 1 or 2 errors, obviously. So massively stepped up for us. So Van Dijk will probably be one of there. Signings, I would probably add Kudus. Kudus.
Yes.
Yeah, he has been outstanding for West Ham. But the teams I don't know how other teams missed out on him and he went to West Ham. So I think 35 million or 40 million now. So that's really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Young talents, obviously, Mino, Bradley.
Breakout player.
Breakout players, yes. Rico Lewis, he has been playing for a while, so I can't give that to him. So yeah.
In Foden, consider young player of the year award வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கான். 10 வருஷமா விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கான். டேய்,
Cole Palmer, obviously.
Yeah, Cole Palmer was really good.
I think on the awards I started following when I joined football. ஒரு 2 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் I said, okay, this is pointless. அப்படின்னு நான் விட்டுட்டேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் So I don't take much into that.
Okay.
Flops, I'm not sure. Probably I'll have to say Anthony. Forward இருந்துட்டு
Mm.
1 goal and 2 assists or something. That's not good. That doesn't look good. No matter the price they've paid for you. ஒரு யுனைடெட்ல ஒரு கிளப்புக்கு ஒரு டாப் 6 கிளப் per se அங்க வந்து you're not performing and stepping up to the level after your first season. ஒரு சீசன் முடிஞ்சு செகண்ட் சீசன்ங்கிறப்ப it doesn't look good.
Right. Mhm.
What about you?
So எனக்கு வந்து I'll be like அந்த ஹிட்ஸ் வந்து எனக்கு starting from the back, Vicario was really good. I thought he was stand out this year. எங்கேருந்து வந்தான் எப்படி he got to this level, I'll never know. But Spurs definitely found a gem in him. இன்ஃபேக்ட் இந்த ஸ்பர்ஸ் சிட்டி கேம்லயே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த ஒரு கவுண்டர் அட்டாக்ல சிட்டியோட கவுண்டர் அட்டாக்ல எங்கேந்திரா கை லிட்டரலி palm the ball away. I don't know if he did that on purpose or if it was accidental, but that point blank levelல producing that kind of a save, unbelievable. Back lineல வந்து VVD was good. I thought the Arsenal center back partnership really went up a notch 2024 especially. So the partnership of Saliba and Gabriel.
I think I'll give more props to Gabriel over Saliba. Arsenal fans have always been behind Saliba, but in the season, if not for Gabriel, you wouldn't be where you are at this point in time. Saliba injury and the Kuda, I think you will have overcome it. Gabriel was probably the better centre back this season in Puerto Rico. And to add to the backline, Jared Branthwaite of Everton, rising talent, breakout talent.
Breakout, yes, definitely. I also thought even in the first half of the season, when Tony was out injured, Brian Mbeumo stepped up very well for Brentford. Brentford on the top level, and his injury was very pivotal Brentford again because they started again went to shit அவங்களுக்கு. இதுல மிட்ஃபீல்ட்ல Declan Rice and Rodri, I thought two impeccable midfielders. நான் இது வந்து ஒண்டர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன் இப்போ ரீசெண்டா ரைஸ் ஒன்லி சிட்டி போயிருந்தானா லைக் த ரூமர் ஆஃப் சிட்டி பிட்டிங் ஃபார் ரைஸ் அண்ட் சைஸ் சிட்டி போயிருந்தான் அப்படின்னா மிட்ஃபீல்ட் ஆஃப் பொட்டன்ஷியலி ராட்ரி ரைஸ் அண்ட் பர்னாடோ சில்வா மறந்துடலாம். ஐ திங்க் ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 5-6 வருஷத்துக்கு பண்ணிக்கலாம். So yeah, and that was another standout எனக்கு. Frontல வந்து I feel like it's probably Arsenal bias இருக்கு. But I thought Odegaard was really good up front. Creativity. Last season வந்து Odegaard உடைய biggest criticism வந்து away gamesல he was missing அப்படின்னு. இந்த சீசன்ல வந்து he's probably one of the most consistent players for us. And attack வந்து எப்பவுமே it flows through him. He finds the through ball, he finds the right person அப்படின்னு. ஃப்ளாப்ஸ் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டா எனக்கு வந்து ஜெர்மி டோக்கு, என்ன சிட்டி அவங்கள மேல பார்த்தாங்கன்னு தெரியல. அண்ட் ஜாக் கிரீலிஷ் அகைன்
I think
1A 1B மாதிரி இருக்கு அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும்.
I think I'll add few things to that. Doku and it's his first season and he's a very raw young talent, so I won't have much against him. And Doku style is completely opposite to what Pep had with Grealish. ஏன்னா கிரீலிஷ் ஐ திங்க் ஒரு வீடியோ கிளிப் இருக்கும் மெட்ரிடோட விளையாண்டுருந்தப்ப பார்த்தா கிரீலிஷ் ஹாஸ் த பால், அவன் கொஞ்சமா he goes back, he goes further up the pitch and the defense he brings it further back and then he passes it back. So Grealish should hold role, get the team back, compress them, give the ball back to midfield and put more pressure on them to go and score. So அதுதான் his main pivotal role and get fouls. அது வந்து it has worked beautifully. Doku is more of an attacking winger. Ball கொடுத்தா நீ ஓடு அப்படின்னு. பட் அவன்கிட்ட ஃபைனல் தேர்ட் இன்புட் இன்னும் வரல.
Fair, and both என்னோட criticism probably a little harsh first seasonல அப்படின்றதுனால maybe I can give Doku a pass. But Grealish வந்து my question to that is, do you need a 100 million player to do that can be achieved by Cole, that could have been achieved by Cole Palmer for all we know. Academy you have somebody who's sitting there who can
I'm not sure if he plays on the left, so
he doesn't play on the left, but he has the dribbling potential. He's young. It's something that you can make him do அப்படின்றதுதான் என்னோட viewpoint. He's got dribbling potential. He protects the ball. He wins fouls. whatever Grealish gives you for 100 million, he can give you for low price in a family product. Maybe Cole Palmer is more last 2 years. Grealish has been there for about 3 years now. You would have lost 1 year if that. But அந்த 1 year justify பண்றதுக்கு 100 million. That's where I start to, okay, my respect for City winning versus buying the titles அப்படின்ற ஒரு மைண்ட் செட்டுக்கு நான் போக ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். So that is my criticism of them. Other than that, the two biggest flops of the season were the Gabriel Martinelli and Darwin Núñez. The potential
Now, second, I won't have anything against it. கொஞ்சம் இருக்கு, but I will really back Martinelli in this case. ஏன்னா I think I'm not sure நம்ம பேசுறோமா or someone else. Xhaka's miss is key for Martinelli. Xhaka இருந்ததா Martinelli would have been absolutely the best winger உங்களுக்கு.
Oh, very true. Xhaka miss it was a very big gap for Martinelli. But other than that, Martinelli gameplay apart from those few big moments he produced, largely went under the radar in the season, especially after So the ரெண்டு விங்கரும் கம்பேர் பண்ண ஆர்சனல் Saka and Martinelli, it's like one side அப்படியே மேல போயிட்டே இருக்கு சீசன் ஆஃப்டர் சீசன், இன்னொரு சைடு மேல கீழே போயிட்டு இருக்கு.
I would like to formally make a request of 40 million for Martinelli to Liverpool. கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நான் வாங்கிட்டு போயிடுவேன்.
40 million for Martinelli, இது I think you'll be laughed at the door நினைக்கிறேன் for that bid. Maybe இப்படி வேணா வச்சுக்கலாம், Martinelli swapping with somebody அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டா
all yours. All yours. 40 plus Luis Diaz.
40 plus Luis Diaz. Okay, maybe we can have a conversation about that. 40 plus Luis Diaz.
Too much
although I don't think he'll be up for sale anytime soon. But my for the promise he showed last year in the season, both, in fact, I'll probably add Gabriel Jesus to this as well. ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஸ்டார்ட் ஒன்று பார்த்தேன். நாங்கள் ஆஸ்டன் வில்லா, வெஸ்ட் ஹாம், ஃபுல்ஹாம் இவங்களோட we took, I think, 6 points or 5 points out of a potential or a possible possible 18 points. We took 6 points அப்படின்னு. அந்த 6 pointsல காமன் தீம் Gabriel Jesus started all those games அப்படின்னு. It was I think he also left wanting lot on the table for the start he had with Arsenal last year.
Yeah, to add one more thing to Martinelli, நீங்க Trossard விளையாண்டு அந்த direct attackingness பார்த்ததுனால I think Arsenal fans have something against Martinelli. He doesn't have Trossard brings the extra dimension that Martinelli doesn't have, or another dimension. Extra சொல்ல மாட்டேன்னா Martinelli is different in Trossard in some aspects as well. So and the attacking aspect உங்களுக்கு favor ஆச்சுங்கிறதுனால I think Arsenal fans may have a bit, think of a dip for Martinelli.
For what it's worth, there was a point where Trossard விட informed Trossard விட Martinelli was preferred. அதுக்கப்புறம் Martinelli's injury is where Trossard stepped up, and அதுக்கப்புறம் it was his place to lose ன்ற மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. Other than that, flops அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா Jurgen Klopp starting of the seasonல அப்படியே ஒரு
I think இது recency
bias தான் கண்டிப்பா. started அப்படியே ஒரு blitz பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தான் எல்லாத்தையும். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆளையே காணும். FPL அவனை சும்மா வச்சு ஓட்டிக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன் அவனை ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு. After a while I was like, okay, முடிஞ்சு நீ கிளம்புப்பா அப்படின்னு. இன்னொன்னு, I probably feel a little harsh, but I feel Andre Onana didn't live up to his price tag.
I mean, don't see why it's harsh, to be honest.
Liverpool United set a record for the number of shots they faced this season.
I absolutely agree with that. Ana டைரக்டா சென்டர் ஆஃப் த கோல் வர ஷாட்டுக்கு நான் ரைட்ல டைவ் பண்ணி ஏதோ பேங்கர் கோல் மாதிரி காட்டினா நான் ஃபிளாப்னு தான் சொல்லுவேன்.
அது ஃபேர். அது யாருக்கு அடி சறுக்குன்ற ஒரு கேட்டகரி நான் வச்சேன்.
அது 38 கேம்ஸ் இருக்குன்னா அது பிரச்சனை.
நிறைய இன்ஃபேக்ட் சாம்பியன்ஸ் லீக்ல எக்ஸிட் ஆனதே ஒரு எரர்னால தானே.
And the Galatasaray game, see, there are so many instances, so many examples. So, See, I'm not saying no. 100% agree. அந்த ஹார்ஷ்னு ஒரு வேர்டு மட்டும் I'll remove. மத்தபடி I agree.
ஓகே ஓகே. அதை தவிர ஐ டோன்ட் நோ கைசேடோ விக்டம் ஆஃப் சர்க்கம்ஸ்டான்ஸா இல்ல
Yeah.
இல்ல ஃபிளாப்பா அப்படின்றது எனக்கு அடிக்குவேட்டா சொல்ல தெரியல. பட் பிரைஸ் டாக ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ணல அப்படின்றதுதான் என்னுடைய
I think அதுதான் பெரிய இஷ்யூவா இருக்கு. ஏன்னா இப்போ ஆண்டனி எடுத்துட்டா கைசேடோ, என்சோ, any player who buy for upwards of 80 million, the first conversation வந்து price tag. அதை வந்து we have to remove it from the aspect of football. அதை remove பண்ணிட்டு பார்த்தா I think you'll have a better for everyone. And கைசேடோங்கிறப்ப I think he's not been used properly என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும். So அது வந்து it has been impacted massively. And Enzo, after Enzo's injury and after Gallagher came into the pivot, Kaiser has done pretty well.
My God,
So
அந்த
I'll give
Chelsea
it a
squadல Cole Palmer தவிர you can probably name about 7 other players as flop of the season அப்படின்னு.
I will add one more. Reece James, first game அப்புறம் தலைவர் ஒரு போட்டாரு நியூ எரா லோடிங்னு.
குய்யால டேய் லோட் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு.
அதேதான். 2 அசிஸ்ட் ஃபுல் சீசன்ல 2 ரெட் கார்டு. So that gives you the entire story.
Good job. Well done. அதுல கேப்டன்சி வேற கொடுத்தாங்க அவனுக்கு. அமோகமா முடிச்சு. ஓகே, லாஸ்ட் டாபிக் ஆஃப் சீசன் டாக்கிங் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா வாட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு hog the conversation this off season?
Liverpool transfers, Arsenal transfers, City's 115.
Okay. வார் என்ன நடக்க போகுது?
Interesting. Jurgen Klopp இன்னைக்கு இன்டர்வியூல கேட்டிருந்தாங்க பிரஸ் கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்ல, I know you're leaving but what would you vote forங்கிறப்ப நம்ம பேசின அதேதான் he said. I would probably vote against war. ஏன்னா at the end of the day we are not against the war but rather the people are using it, and the people are using it not going to change. So it is pointless if you're going to make it the same thing. So I would probably vote for against war அப்படிங்கிறப்ப I have nothing against it. ஏன்னா நம்ம பேசின மாதிரி தான். I think you have made the analogy. If a monkey is driving a car, don't stop driving cars. Stop monkeys driving the car.
Yes.
அந்த analogy தான். So there's probably nothing else to add. And I probably think Wolves made a really good thing of bringing this up. It has to be talked about. There has to be changes. 2-3 months ஒரு வாட்டி ஒரு ஷோல if you come and talk about the errors and blatantly say the errors are not wrong and back the referees in grappa, I don't see how it's going to improve.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have anything else to add to it? Yeah.
எனக்கு வந்து that's what the transfers is obviously going to be a big deal. How early you make the transfers, off season இருக்கா இல்லையா, that will probably be key அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறேன். One thing that will be scrutinized
managerial roulette.
Scrutinized a lot வந்து எந்த மேனேஜர் எங்க போறான், யாரு நவர போறா. Obviously the ones we know, Klopp is leaving, Moyes leaving. வேற யார் I don't know, Deserby இது வரைக்கும் எதுவும்
Deserby is probably planning to stay.
Okay.
He said at the press conference, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, Pochettino, Eddie Howe, ETH மூணு பேருமே question mark ஓட இருக்காங்க. You don't know what is going to happen with them என்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு. தவிர இப்போ somebody like Oliver Glasner who came to Crystal Palace, turning heads, making waves, அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்காரு அவரு. Crystal Palace ஓட record since he took over looks amazing. Unbelievable விளையாடுறாங்க வேற அவங்க. Crystal Palace ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு வந்து the only thing I know about Palace were that they புடிச்சிட்டே கஷ்டப்பட்டு hanging by the skin of their teeth and then somehow they get a win அப்படின்றதுதான் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இருந்துச்சு. But from how they've played the last 5-7 game weeks, complete change.
And it'll also be interesting to see if he holds on to Eze and Olise.
True.
That will also play a massive part in his next season and Palace's future.
Yes, and of course Euros இருக்கு இந்த off seasonல, so
next season not part of it, interestingly.
Right? Yeah, and he's still eligible for 2 other countries. England and Nigeria.
France, Germany, I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, he was eligible for 2 other countries other than France. No,
France, England, Nigeria, Algeria.
Oh, Algeria வேறயா? My God. France, England, Algeria, Nigeria. எப்படி அம்மா அப்பா மேபி அந்த கண்ட்ரி,
I
தாத்தா
think
பாட்டி கண்ட்ரில தான்
born,
இருக்கும்.
brought up, something like that maybe as well.
ஓகே,
Yeah.
இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். ஆல்ரைட், எனி அதர் than that எனக்கு வார் வந்து ஐ ஃபீல் லைக் இது வந்து எங்கேயுமே போகுது இல்ல. நம்ம திரும்ப திரும்ப அதை பத்தி பேசிட்டு இருக்க போறோம், எங்கேயுமே போகுது இல்ல. இது ஒரு ரியாலிட்டி டிவி மாதிரி ஆயிட்டு வருது அப்படின்றது என்னுடைய ஒப்பீனியன். ஹோப்ஃபுல்லி, பட் ஐ ஹோப் ஐ எம் ப்ரூவ்ட் ராங். ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு மீனிங்ஃபுல் சேஞ்ச் வந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும். அது வரலன்னா அப்புறம் யர்கன் கிளாப் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், வாட் இஸ் த பாயிண்ட்?
Honestly, yeah, something has to change. It just depends on what it is going to be.
True.
And to
Okay.
add to the war, I think your small thing. We need two things. One is the automated offline
Right.
offside thing, and the other one is goal line technology. இது ரெண்டு தவிர I don't really think VAR is that much required. I mean, red cards, obviously those things are required, but அதிலேயே there are inconsistencies, clear and obvious. யாருக்கு clear and obvious? And the rules have to be defined. So if these three things change, I think there'll be no issues with VAR. Automated offside, goal line, and what is clear and obvious, proper definition and structure.
Do you think second yellow should be made reviewable?
No.
Okay.
ஏன்னா இப்ப let's say first yellow was not technically a yellow. Let's take அந்த நம்ம Liverpool Spurs அந்த கேம் எடுத்துப்போம். Jota's both challenges were not a yellow. First challenge வந்து he was given a yellow. Second challenge, let's say he made an actual foul. அப்படிங்கிறப்ப if they go and review பண்றப்ப the first one's not a foul, second one's a foul. So how அதை எப்படி டிசைட் பண்ணுவீங்க?
அப்போ அதுக்கு ஆப்போசிட் வந்து வில்லி பாலி ஓட அகைன்ஸ்ட் எவர்டன் நினைக்கிறேன். He was given a red card, second 2 yellows. First one was a yellow, second one was not a yellow, but he was still sent off. But I mean, it's நான் சொல்லும் போதே it's a slippery slopeன்றத என் மைண்ட்ல தோணுது. ஏன்னா then you're going to probably be reviewing pretty much anything and everything.
Exactly.
Time wasting yellow எப்படி ரிவ்யூ பண்றது? ரிவ்யூ பண்ண முடியாது. It's judgment decision. So the yellow card வந்து ரிவ்யூ பண்றதுன்றது slippery slope, but maybe second yellows அதை ரிவ்யூ பண்ண முடியுமா? Is that both like இந்த சேலஞ்சுன்றத ஒண்ணு கொண்டு வந்தா கூட something like இந்த கோவாசிச்சோட ரெட் கார்டு அந்த செகண்ட் yellow கொடுக்கவே இல்லை. If Arteta had a challenge, could he have used that? அந்த conversation.
The basketball பேசினது. I think it literally spoils the game and the flow of the game.
I agree
basketball, with that. I think not many people like it. So it literally full stop மாதிரி வச்சு கிரிக்கெட்ல ஓவர் முடிஞ்சு அடுத்த ஓவர் போற மாதிரி. That's not how football works, at least from what I've seen.
When do you stop it? Like, if an opponent is going counterல போயிட்டு இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா அப்போ வந்து கோச் சேலஞ்ச் தூக்கி போட்டானா, சேலஞ்ச் ஃபிளாக் மாதிரி எதையா போட்டானா, what is the point of when do you stop it? When do you challenge it? If they score, does the goal count or doesn't count? What is the extent of what you can challenge? நிறைய இதெல்லாம் ஏன்னா இப்போ பாஸ்கெட்பால்லையுமே சேலஞ்சஸ் இருக்கு, but you can't challenge just about anything and everything. The challenges and the scope for what is considered a challenge-ன்றது very limited தான். So இது வந்து அப்போ does it move the needle a lot அப்படின்னா I don't know. Probably adds a few more stops in the game. Around in my opinion.
I think the best way to finish this on I think Shankly scored it was football is a simple game played by idiots or managed by idiots or stupids. That's how it looks as of now.
That is very true, especially when you have throw in conflict of interest. The Dutch league la வந்து ஏதோ ரெஃபரி வந்து what a story. Unbelievable இருந்துச்சு அத படிக்க.
சில பேருக்கு தெரியாது. I think you might want a bit.
So basically the Dutch league ஓட story வந்து some referee or supporter of a team made sure that team won the title. Opposing team last game of the season had 3 red cards, gave an extra 15 minutes additional time, waited for the winner before he blew the whistle. Oh my gosh, that is, if Man City la வந்து I think they will get there one day, to aspire to get there one day நினைக்கிறேன்.
I think it won't be that obvious. It's not been that obvious. அவ்வளவுதான்.
White collar crime நம்ம. Okay. So great review again. Thank you so much, Rohit, join பண்ணதுக்கு. I hope you have a fun evening.
It's a pleasure. I appreciate it.
And கேக்குறவங்கலாம் whatever you agreed with us, disagreed with us, comments போடுங்க, engage with us, talk to us. வாட் டு யூ திங்க் ஹிட்ஸ் ஆஃப் த சீசன், ஃபிளாப் ஆஃப் த சீசன், உங்களுடைய கருத்து என்னது? யூர்கன் கிளாப் கிளம்புறதை பத்தி நீங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க? குட் ரிட்டன்ஸா இல்ல ஐயோ என் மனசு வலிக்குது அப்படின்னா? டைட்டில் ரேஸ் க்ளோஸா போகுமா இல்ல போகாதா? அந்த 3 to 6 க்ளோஸா போகுமா போகாதா? இதெல்லாம் நிறைய இது இருக்கு. ஸோ எல்லாமே டாக் டு அஸ் அபவுட் வாட் யூ திங்க், அண்ட் தென் வில் see you again. ஃபைனல் கேம் வீக் முடிச்ச பிறகு ஒரு சகாப்தமா எடுத்துட்டு வந்து முடிக்கலாம். Until then, it's bye from Arvind and Rohit. Thank you, Rohit.